What up, you wonderful nerds? Welcome back to the KenCast. And of course, I apologize. I'm not gonna lie, I made a promise that I couldn't keep. And you might think, oh, Kenny, what was your excuse this time? In all honesty, I have no excuse. I've been exceptionally lazy. Exceptionally lazy. Now, through that, I must sincerely apologize again, right? That I've kind of just left the KenCast with no explanation, which sucks. So, I guess we're back here. First off, I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas, or I guess is Hanukkah in this? I don't know when Hanukkah happened. And honestly, I heard it changed. And of course, every other holiday, etc., etc., etc. Hope you all had some wonderful food. Maybe a lot of you got some beautiful presents. I know I did. Wonderful shirts and socks because I keep ripping all my socks. It's a problem. Well, yeah. This is literally a day before New Year's. Which is like, dang. This year went by excessively fast. Like, too fast, I think. I don't know why. I think as it goes on, the more I get, there's the idea that's like, okay, yeah, as a child, right? 1 year when you're 4 years old is a quarter of your life, so it goes by very slowly, right? And when you're 60, it's a 60th of your life, so it doesn't really matter as much. I didn't really buy into that. I don't really buy into that. Because time doesn't go faster the longer you live. I never really thought about that. But I think, right, it's more so what you experience, right? For example, right, when you're like 1 to 8, everything you're going through is essentially new. Okay, when you've for the first 4 years, I don't remember anything at all, right? How are you supposed to? You don't even open your eyes. But what's it? My earliest memories about I don't know, 3 years old, something like that. I have no clue, right? But from that point on, right, going outside into the backyard, every day was a new experience, essentially, right? What's it? Finding out what games are, that's a whole new experience, right? Finding out what a TV is, that's a whole new experience. School is even a whole new experience, even though my elementary I guess days are very blurry. I don't remember much at all. But as I get older, I start doing more routine things, Wake up at this time, go to school at this time, come back, play games for etc. time, do homework because you're procrastinating, it's 2 a.m, and then wake up the next day and do the same thing all over again. And yeah, you learn wonderful things in school, you experience great things amongst friends, all that kind of stuff, right? But nonetheless, it's, at least for me, been a very calming experience. That sort of reliability, almost in a way, which has been very nice, actually. I'm not one for many surprises anymore. It's odd. I don't know. So what do you mean you're not one for many surprises? Well, how can I say this? Not a lot happens that I don't entirely expect or know is going to happen. When I go home, I know how the day's gonna go, right? It's not, oh, let's go in the backyard, see what awaits me there, right? Or it's like, oh, there's never an excitement when it comes to school. What am I talking about? But trying to think of more examples, almost in a way, right? Like, what am I gonna learn from my good pal Steven, when he comes over and teaches me random stuff that he learns on the internet, right? I'm like, no, I got nothing like that. When I go home, it's just, all right, I got some homework to do, right? It's due next week. I got some applications I need to work on, right? And yeah, we'll just do that after dinner. I'll play until mother gets home. So that gives me, extra hours. I can plan out my day, we'll plan out the week. And honestly, and sometimes, if I'm not really lucky, more so if the die rolls correctly, I can plan out the whole month. They say plans are made to be broken, but it's like, it's almost like each day is structured to be like a really boring game, right? Where like each day is the same. You know, as much as that, would you rather have, let's say exciting days, or just, on very, very calm, sort of predictable days? And in all honesty, I've not really thought that much about that kind of thing. I've no clue. Would I rather be a daring individual, going off cliffs in the or going off ice cliffs, and going through fjords on a boat, experiencing negative 30 degrees Celsius, negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit, whatever it may be, right? And it's like, oh, look at this, I'm experiencing the world, kind of thing. Or would I rather be sitting in a nice, comfortable home next to the fire, going home, doing my thing, and relaxing, having a little bit of free time, experiencing stuff with family, friends, loved ones, if that ever happens. Both are very enticing to me. I think, it's a matter of who wants either. No clue, right? But I suppose that's not really what I'm here to talk about. Let's talk about random, completely arbitrary information, right? And I kind of talked about this, but it's like weather. I don't know why. Maybe not just weather, but other things in general. But people try to one-up you in literally everything you do. Unconsciously. I do this definitely a little more consciously than others, maybe. I'm getting a little more used to it. Or should I say, that's not a good thing, but that's generally how it is, right? For instance, oh, what's that? Man, it's pretty cold today. Yeah, it's like 10 degrees outside, 10 degrees Fahrenheit, because I'm in America. Like 10 degrees outside. I'm like, oh, you think 10 degrees is cold? Back in my day, up here in etc. European country, -60, we went outside for picnics. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? It's like, oh man, I'm so bad with technology, right? Or no, my parents are so bad with technology, for instance, right? And it's like, oh, you think your parents are bad at technology? My parents don't even have a smartphone. It's like, oh, you think that's bad? My parents don't even have internet. It's like, all right, chill. I didn't ask that. I just wanted some free pity. I just wanted some pity talk, right? I didn't really care how bad your family was. I'm suffering over here. It doesn't really matter, right? It appears to be widespread, like within. Oh, I'm playing with the ball. I lost the ball. Anyway, back to it. Where was I going with this? I was like, within every conversation, right? When someone's like, complaining almost in a way, or not really even complaining, almost just making a statement where it can be scaled to, right? There's immediately the, oh, but you don't have it as bad as I do, and oh, you don't have it as bad as I do. It's like children. In all honesty, it's very childish, and it's not a bad thing, I don't think. But when you think of children, right? It's like, how old is your dad? Oh, my dad's like 40. Oh, well, my dad's 42. Oh, my dad's 47. I'm like, I don't care how old your dad is. Someone just asked me. I don't care how old your dad is. Maybe that's me to me, but I don't know. It feels kind of childish, almost comparing how bad you feel. And when they do it, right? When people, specifically when they're in, a brief moment of grief, right? They automatically make it seem, they make the situation much, much worse than it actually feels, right? For instance, let's say I was playing a game, right, as I always do, and I was trying to download some new stuff, right, to make the game pretty much play better, to just keep from losing other people who aren't avid gamers, right? While trying to download this new thing, right, I try to follow the steps, and as a relatively uneducated fool, I don't really follow directions well. Maybe it's just me. I can make an IKEA table, right? I'm not. Can I make an IKEA table? That's a good question. I don't know. I can make a Lego set. Anyway, right? For instance, it's like, I'm trying to download the game, right? And I follow the steps, and bam, it doesn't work. you know this, right? You follow step by step, right? You do exactly what they tell you to, and it's like error, and it doesn't work. I'm like, right? And then I kind of go on this spree, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't like when I do this, and I'm trying to stop it, but I can't help it, almost in a way, right? I'm like, oh my god, technology never works for me. It's like, grumble, 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 mean face, grumble, 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 mean face, right? And it's like, oh, it's really the small things. It's really the small things that get to you. And then, it's like, oh, I don't have any luck with with math, or I tried to do this, right, and it took me 1,000,000 hours to do it, right, when it actually took you give or take 30 minutes, right? It's like, as the person from the outside, right, you're the most annoying piece of garbage you've ever listened to for that particular time, right? In that one instance, you are by far the most annoying person, and no one wants to talk to you, right? But switch those two positions, right, to where now you are the person, or I am the person, right, complaining, and suddenly it seems justifiable. In the moment, retrospect is 2020, but in the moment, right, you are justified because, frankly, you are pissed off, or you are frustrated, or you are annoyed. I probably should fix that, right? But should, could, woulda, all that kind of stuff, another problem, right? Where's it going with this? I'm going to springboard off of this, but I don't know. I can't think of where I was going to go with this. Complaining, something like that. Yada yada. Mean-spirited Kenny, right? Let's jump into something a little more nice then, right? Or more so just an odd quirk. I haven't actually counted down for New Year's, I think, in 2 years now? Like, when you go on, what news is it? Oh gosh, I don't even know the news channel that plays. I think it's like every news channel, right? But it's like, oh, it's 12 o'clock, it's gotta tick down, we're gonna see it. Like, whenever they do that, right? I don't know, I haven't watched it. All the performances before that, also haven't watched that. None of them. Like, yeah, my family would put it up, right? They watch on the big screen, they're also crowding around it, kind of watching, like, oh, hey, watch that squirrel over there. I'm like, Dad, that's a guy. And it's like, anyway, it's like, but yeah, they'll crowd around, right? They'll listen. They'll, they'll have at it, Sometimes they'll eat something. Most of the time, I'll say I kind of relax, not even paying attention, right? And when something cool comes up, they call it. They're like, hey, guys, look at this. And all the kids run over. I'm part of the kids section, so yes, I come over as well. And I watch it, and, we make our remarks. And it's like, hey, that's pretty cool. And it's like, yeah. Oh, wow, I didn't know they could do that this year, right? It's like, then you just walk back. And the cycle continues until, well, it reaches whatever time. I don't even know if it's 12 or 12:59, right? And it's like, bam, it's New Year's, everyone celebrates, everyone starts kissing. I'm like, all right. Now, I understand, the value of life, right? That one more year is, one more year we should cherish that, each second counts with your loved ones, and why is Steam updating? It's fine. Okay, good. I thought the voice recorder stopped. I'm like, no, please, don't do this to me. But yeah, what's it? That might have cut off. Who knows, right? But nonetheless, spending time with your loved ones is very valuable, right? But I've never really found it's kind of like birthdays almost in a way, right? To where, yay, you've reached this hallmark in time. Suddenly this is a celebration? I don't know. It's never, or should I say, it's been less and less relevant, I think, as time has gone on. I remember when I was younger, right? One of the fondest memories I have of New Year's was the time I just had a bloody nose for like an hour at New Year's. I was sitting there enjoying, it's like, oh, is that a safety hazard, Kenny? It's like, yeah, that something probably was wrong, but, doesn't matter, right? So I was sitting there. It was like probably, let's see, when did that happen? I'm trying to count years. Probably only a couple years, a few years ago, like 6 years ago, maybe 7, right? Right, watching with my mom, right? And I'm excited. It was like one of the first times I like fondly remember New Year's, right? And I'm like, wow, this is so cool. They're playing my favorite band, Linkin. I don't think they ever did Linkin Park. I think they did Green Day for a couple of times, but I don't. Okay, no, I don't listen to Green Day anymore. Okay, I don't know how I got into Linkin Park and Green Day as a child, right? But nonetheless, I listened to them, and so even though I had somewhat branched off of that, I listened to other stuff. Okay, I'm like your generic teenager right now, right? Listening to EDM, piano, classical music, right? Standard, right? Anyway, as I'm watching this, right, I'm like excited because this band that I haven't listened to in 4 years is for some reason gonna play, right? And I'm gonna listen to one of their songs, right? And as I'm watching, I think the parade was going on. I just started getting a bloody nose. I'm like, oh, well, I'll do the stand-up thing where I tilt my head back and just stare at the sky. Or ceiling, I suppose, in this case, right? I know there's some people like, hey, that's probably not a good idea, Kenny. You're gonna choke on it. You're gonna die. I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. I mean, yes, it does. It does work that way. But no, I didn't know any better. In fact, neither did my parents, because they told me to do that, right? But nonetheless, I did it anyway. Right? 10 minutes pass. I'm still just kind of, I come back, right? Earth the sponge, and I'm like, I tilt my head back, right? And I look and I get excited again. I smile and I'm looking at the parade and it's like announcing whatever the heck, right? And boom, it comes again. I'm like, well, this is annoying, right? So I just sit there, right? And I lay back down. My mom's kind of making fun of me at this point, right? Because just like you're not even watching at this point because I'm just face towards the ceiling instead of the TV screen. And I'm like, okay. I clearly need to improvise, right? So using my standard 240,000 IQ, right? While I stared at them, I was like, okay, we'll do it at a slight angle, right? So while I look up, I tilt my head a little bit to the side, and I can see the the TV. I'm like, oh, I can watch it, and then I'm like, I can feel all of it clogging to one side, almost as you, right, when you have a runny nose, right? And similar to how when you have a runny nose, when you're sleeping, right, and you sway from side to side until you fall asleep, right? I'm here swaying from side to side, looking like a worm trying to do a dance, right? Trying to watch TV, also getting the bloody nose off. And I do this for like another 15 minutes, just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And now my whole family's kind of making fun of me at this point, right? Or more so, maybe it's not that much. Maybe it's just my mother making fun of me, right? But now, like, my uncle's coming, I was like, what's wrong? I'm like, oh, yeah, I kind of got a bloody nose. So, he tells me, block at the top of your nostrils, right? Because I think that's actually a more surefire way of doing it, right? And so I do that. But, the story would not be any fun if it didn't keep going. So I'm sitting there, still swaying side to side, trying to watch it, right? A little less so. I'm not even trying to breathe out my mouth now, right? I don't really care what's happening on the screen because I'm somewhat torn, right? 50% of my mental capacity is delegated to turning my head back and forth. The other 50% actually watching what's happening on the gosh darn television. I have no clue what's happening at that point. I was wondering, how long did this last? I think it lasted until New Year's actually went down, right? And I'm still there, right? I hear New Year's goes down, right? I hear the countdown, right? And I'm trying to count down as well because, my family's, new stuff. I don't think they celebrated this. No, they did. They did this in the Vietnam. But they do it more now because the entire family's there, right? And I'm here counting down, staring at the ceiling, covering my nose. I got a little bit of blood on my hands. I think it's like, hum. It's definitely a odd experience. Oh gosh, now I've gotten to thinking about all the times I've had a bloody nose. I think I had one while I was in the shower, right? And you can't really keep your nose dry in a shower. So when you try to, when I try to look up, which is a natural instinct, right? I just get a face full of water instead. And I'm not washing anything. I'm just kind of sitting there, right? At the same time, I don't want to get out, right? And attempt to pick up a towel and wash my face. Because that's just how I'm going to smear blood all over the all over the all over the towels, right? So okay, let's just kind of look up, right? And that's where the squeezing the nose thing actually helps, right? But sometimes, sometimes you can't tell how good the clog is, how well you're closing up that nose. So I'll try doing that, right? But I had just gotten in the shower, I just put soap on, and I'm like, I gotta wash the soap off, and then I can at least stop the water. And so I'm sitting there, clogging my nose, trying one hand clogging it, the other hand attempting to wash my head and, do all this stuff, right? And I just I start seeing blood drip down from my hand. I'm like, I guess I didn't do well enough. So now I clog it harder, but nonetheless, it's still dripping blood. So at this point, you might call me a savage, right? But I'm like, I'm doing this now. And I just let go, right? I just let it all happen, right? While I'm taking a shower. I just close my eyes. I keep washing my head. I stay in there for another 5 minutes, right? And then once I stop the water, I'm like, I still get a bleeding nose. So I'm just kind of sitting here. I'm like, okay, I guess at this point, right? I'll just try it, right? I'll try blocking the nose. So I don't think you should imagine this, right? But just or maybe for yourself, right? You're just sitting there. Or no, standing there, right, in the shower, water's off, right? You just hear the dripping of the water onto the. Is it porcelain? I don't think it's porcelain. It might be porcelain. Whatever material. What material is a bathtub made of? Bathtub material. Hold on, I think it might be porcelain. Fiberglass, porcelain on steel, acrylic, cast iron. Well, yeah, all those things, right? And you see the ding, 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 and it's like you're just sitting there staring at the sky, clogging your nose, not wanting to get the towel because you're afraid you might, smear blood over the towel, but at the same time not wanting to get out, So you're just sitting there, and you wonder how long it's gonna take, right? And suddenly your mind just drifts. It just drifts, and you think about random stuff. It's like, I think my entire life is revolved around did I do my homework? It's quite an odd feeling knowing that my life is entirely dictated by whether or not I've kind of lost sight of my goal of what I want to do actually. It's more so just have I done my homework right? Has this assignment been finished yet? I've kind of lost the drive is more so I have to do this homework because if not I'm going to get in trouble. And that's pretty much it. I don't know. I guess with that, we'll just leave it there. Enough about my own insecurities or whatever the heck. Let's go on to New Year's resolutions. Oof, New Year's resolutions. So, I've never made one. Because in all honesty, after the first year, which was 2010, no, 8 even, right? When I first heard of what a New Year's resolution was, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I think what is a generic thought I think of as a child? Let's see. I'm gonna get buff, right? I'm gonna get that beach spot. I'm gonna okay, maybe that's a little, maybe that's a little insensitive. It's I want to get A's in all my classes, right? I'm gonna get that girl or whatever, right? And then by the end of the year, I'm like, yeah, I've gotten more unhealthy. I've got to slack behind in my classes, all that kind of stuff, right? So whatever New Year's resolutions I had, I failed to meet them. And so because of my horrific, I would assume, because it's again quite blurry since it's been a while ago, right? What's it? Since my horrible mistake, right? I've just kind of had this idea that New Year's resolutions are just full of garbage. Is that bad for me to think? Yeah, the idea is good, right? The concept is great, right? You're starting to do something you've never done before, but you've wanted to do for a very long time, right? So you start at the same time everyone else wants to start as well. New Year's Day, and you got a whole year, right? Or should I say you've only got a year, depending on how you look at it, right? To finish this quest, right? It's some people, they set out huge goals, right? I'm gonna lose 20 pounds, right? I'm gonna scale Mount Everest. Maybe that's not the same scale. Maybe I'm insulting people that way. It's something my mom asked. It's like, I'm gonna lose, this amount of weight, right? Or I'm gonna scale this mountain, right? Or I'm gonna, learn about this, right? I'm gonna, donate to this, right? I'm gonna start my own business, kind of thing, right? Most of the time, it's like some on the lines of something health related, right? I'm gonna get rid of this fat down here. I'm gonna get beach bod over there, right? I'm gonna start working out. That's the one I always hear all the time, and that's the one that usually gets like blasted, right? It's like, man, it's been less than a month and you've already failed your New Year's resolution, right? And in a way, it sucks because it's one of the best times, right at New Year's, to begin to try to do something new. New year, new me. That idea, right? As annoying as it is, it's ultimately nothing but good, well-intentioned, right? And then here I am bashing it because people just lose it so quickly. It's that inspiration that people lose. And, watching inspirational videos, because I do that on my free time. I've been watching some, instant karma compilations, all that kind of stuff, right? Am I a bad person for doing that? I don't know if I'm a bad person for doing it. I don't think I am. It's very satisfying a lot of the time, right? But nonetheless, right, watching motivation videos, right? Specifically, I've spent a little bit of time watching Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, but let's be honest. Everyone probably butchers that in some way, right? My boy Arnold, right? It's like, okay, they always ask him, how do you get so buff, right? And with those guys, right? Yes, they have fun doing those things, right? They have fun. They actually enjoy working out, pumping iron, as they'll say. I don't know. Is that a thing? Just getting ripped, that kind of stuff. It's fun to them. It's almost like, a hobby. It is a hobby to them, right? Which is a very good hobby. It's a very, very healthy hobby, right? Almost like jogging and all that kind of stuff, right? Oh, I also am watching a jogging anime. You guys should, if you need me, I got you. Anyway, so those people, they always get asked, how do you, keep up the motivation? And honestly, I hear they say, it's not about motivation. It's about doing it. And it's like, makes sense, right? And so you leave that, right? And then I started watching someone else. It's like, well, who do you watch that's also as buff as Arnold Schwarzenegger? Well, there's people as buff, and there's people who are twice as strong. I started watching strongman competitions, right? As a guy who's only 120, right, in pounds, right? Your boy's not being a strongman anytime soon. Your boy's definitely not being a strongman anytime soon. I'm shaking the poop out of the mic. My apologies, right? But your boy's not being a strongman anytime soon. But the moment I listen to this guy, right, I think his name is oh gosh, I don't even know his name. Well, nonetheless, right? It says, they always ask, one of the guys asked, do you ever, you must have those days, right, where you feel like you shouldn't go, right, or you can't go, right? And he says, yeah, I have those all the time, right? But he says, motivation, that's for amateurs. I'm like, whoa, what do you mean motivation's for amateurs? Because that's a very strong word. And it's like, motivation's for amateurs. If you're a pro, right, if you want to do this, right, you don't need motivation. You just do it. I'm like, okay, well, you, my good sir, literally make a living off of doing this. So it's almost got that job aspect to it, right? That there has to be. I just realized something. I've been bouncing this ball around this entire time. I wonder if the camera picked it up. That is quite awkward. Anyway, I'll leave it at that, right? Motivation is for amateurs. Take that as you will. Guys and gals and everyone in between, I hope you all have a wonderful New Year's, let's say, anything, right? A lot of us students, winter break is ending. I apologize on behalf of everyone, and I am sorry for your loss. I hope you cope well. with this travesty as we get back into the grind of daily life, right? And to those who I don't think anyone expected me to have this done every Friday, and all honestly, based off my horrendous schedule of missing it the next week. But I'm just gonna start posting them whenever I get the opportunity. I'll try to do it once every week, and at worst once every other week, once every fortnight. I know. It's like, sir, why'd you mention fortnight and all this? Well, a fortnight, the actual definition, is once every 2 weeks. A fortnight has passed, 2 weeks has passed, right? I think that's how you use it. I might be using that wrong, but that's how I've seen it, right? Nonetheless, I hope you all have a wonderful whatever the heck. I'll try posting this a little more consistently. And yeah, see you nerds.